I was from the East Philadelphia, born there, and we moved to Argentina when I was 4, and then on to back to Philadelphia, then on to Canada, all for my dad's business, and we ended up in Detroit area, Bloomfield Hills. And so the moving made me, I think, whatever anxiety I had made the anxiousness really worse, and I developed school phobia, and also I was very driven, overly ambitious, I would say, and so between that, being anxious and working so hard and everything, and just being kind of in a state, I broke down in my senior year of high school in 1976. I've had quite a few physical challenges, surgeries, about 5 of them, and some complications. I had foot and ankle reconstruction, and then I had knee replacements and hip replacement and a shattered kneecap. And they you get some sympathy, but I tell you, when you're in rehab, you don't get any sympathy. But they want you to work and they want you to move and all that stuff. But there is a similarity. I mean, there is the fact that you have something afflict you physically. It's not so different than being afflicted mentally with mental illness. Mental illness can be as excruciating and as difficult as a physical illness, and it needs to be dealt with. And it needs to be treated that it's not just a weakness or it's something that, go just get over, just buck up or whatever. Through all the difficulties, sometimes distractions, being proactive, going out and doing something to make your life better, trying to do something that maybe I was scared to do, but I did it anyway, and it had positive outcomes. So those things can really make a difference, and because with mental illness, you tend to focus on yourself, and the more you can get outside of yourself and engage in activities or intellectual pursuits or artistic pursuits, and for someone who's athletic, things like that, which is true for everyone. It's not just people who are mentally ill. The reason why I haven't talked much about my mental illness is, to tell you quite honestly, people don't want to listen. They don't want to hear. They really, it's not something that they don't want to hear about it. And so when you get to a venue like this, where you can come out and you can have someone listen to you and you can talk about your situation and what's happened through the years, and there's other people that have done it, it's a great thing. And that if you have mental illness as part of your makeup, you can't just ignore it. You can't just say it doesn't exist, or I've overcome it, or I can get through this. I'm strong. I can, You have to accept it, and it makes it easier to go on. Otherwise, you're always feeling, I can't show it. I can't be weak, or I can't, And if you do get to a point where a low point, you end up saying, well, I can't let it show. I can't, because they won't understand, because you haven't told them. At 17, I had my break, and I have not had another relapse since then. And why I'm coming out to talk about it now is because, one, our family has some mental illness issues, and I have a nephew who I feel needs to know that there is help, and that needs to know that it's something that can be dealt with, and you can have a better life, and I want him to know that. And sometimes hearing about it in the newspaper has a lot more credibility than when old Aunt Sarah tells you. So I would say that, and I'm glad I've done it. I would hate to end my life and say, gosh, I never really came out about my mental illness, just like someone does about other issues. That would bother me.